Good morning, everybody. Audio check, audio check. Let me know you can hear this audio check. Good morning, ka-ching. Oh yeah, it's that time. Ben's asking about Bitcoin on Base. It is a good project. We had their CEO on here a couple days ago. Community takeover. And I think they've got a good team together. We'll get Pedro to talk about them later since it's Technical Tuesday. Dara in the house. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is in the world you're coming to us from. Welcome to another episode of DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another great show again today. It is August 20th, 2024, one day closer to Christmas, one day closer to my birthday, and of course, one day closer to the sun goes supernova and all of our problems are taken care of. We started off with a good show already. We've got lots of people on. Our friend Jesus decided to be done with the past and in with the new and get a new handle. He's affectionately known as SFC, which I forget what that stands for, on Telegram. So Jesus will not be rising anymore with us anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Yet he's still pumping the Infinite blockchain. All right. Alpha Wolf, thanks for joining us, Walter, all the way from Ottawa, Illinois. That's right. Got to ride out and see you. think we'll have to do a meet and greet here next week at some point. Daryl Lawton coming to us from the great country of Spain. I'll hedge that bet here. You may have noticed I haven't introduced Pedro yet because he's late. Anyway, wanted to get the show going anyway on time here today. SFC stands for Sucka Free City. Obviously not a reference to San Francisco. Alpha Wolf's just going to put it out there and say I'm a recovering addict and support recovery. I'm behind them 100%. Walter's been very upfront with his past and his focus on crypto to help keep his mind off all that bad stuff, but good for Walter. Let's get down to the beginning here. Welcome, Kachin. Derek says, loud and clear. And good morning, Tom. Good morning to you, Derek. Ben, welcome to the show here. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. As he keeps hearing people talk about it. Weibo says, hello, Tom and Pedro. Just me so far. El no Pedro. Oh. Let's see. I don't know if I put a tweet out about this too. Normally when Pedro's doing the little intro here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you watching on Twitter, thanks for joining us, or X, whatever it is you want to call it. I really appreciate that. Drop some comments here. Yep. All of you haven't noticed, Bitcoin is... oh, look, the sun just changed and ruined my green screen. Come on, son. Anyway, Bitcoin just dropped down below 60,000 once again. Oscar Ramos in the house. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Oscar and I shared the microphone at the Futurist Convention. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Oscar provided a lot of lunchtime analysis when we took over the Blockchain Futurists live stream. That's right. Unfortunately, for part of it, I had his microphone off. I had too many mics. I had 4 microphones on 2 different sound cards, and controlling them was a mess for someone without an audio tech. I needed a tech to be my backup for it, and I didn't have it for the show. Anyway, Oscar, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Waiting for Pedro to come on here. And need this green stuff to go away here. Anyway, before we get into Pedro and Technical Tuesday and all that, the theme for the day of the show, if you hadn't noticed, was Four-Fingered Camilla. That's just because the AI that I made this picture of, Camilla dancing on Bitcoin, decided to give her only 4 fingers and one really big fat pointer finger. But anyway, the theme of the show is the big dance is on. They sent Joe off last night, his swan song. He had his speech. He get a speech where everything was great. Everything is so good. Everything is great. I don't even know why Camilla needs to fix anything. Why does she need to fix anything if Joe did everything so great? Don't understand this. Anyway, and so he's out. His policies are on the way out. So what are the new policies, ladies and gentlemen? What are the new policies? I hear silence. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I hear silence. You know who else we hear silence from? The Democrats, right? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. They haven't mentioned doodly squat about what's going on with crypto. I shouldn't say crypto. I should just say digital assets. The rumor mill that Gary Gensler would be appointed U.S. Treasury would be a disaster. But let me just say that rumor mill is bunk. That U.S. Treasury people have serious political pull. And when you get to be appointed to Secretary of Treasury, you're not just another political appointee hack. You're someone that's raised, hundreds of millions of dollars for the party, or you can donate, cause your organization to donate. JB Morgan. So I don't believe any of that stuff that Gary Gensler would get appointed. Anyway, Biden's on the out. He's on the out. So we don't need to worry about him anymore. What can he screw up in these last few days? What can he screw up? Well, he could probably screw up a lot of things. But he's not going to have much of a chance to, because Congress is going to be at just loggerheads for doing anything while we have a lame duck presidency. And before anyone new comes in. So he's not going to really do anything else. The SEC obviously could do something else. But going down the thought process that if Vice President Harris were to win the presidency, what would happen? And we don't know. We don't know. So the discussion today will go in and out of the ideas about that. We'll take comments from the audience. We'd love to hear from you guys, your thoughts on that. Let's see. What do we got here? AI Alpha Wolf says, "Hey, Oscar, love you, brother." Derek says, "No taxes on tips because someone else already said that." That's the dumbest thing ever. Come on. I understand the servers work hard and all that, but everybody needs to pay their fair share of taxes. And that is a regular percentage amount. Not crazy high amounts, not crazy low amounts. You got to pay taxes on your income. That's how everyone participates in government. That's how we do it. We take your money, take it from your pocket, put it in the government's pocket. That's how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, it's not fair to start exempting certain people, because then they'll come up with exemptions for other people, and the tax code will go from 3,000 pages to 8,000 pages. Not looking forward to that. Sucka Free City says, "I don't want to be president. I just want to be treasurer." That would be great, because then your signature's on everyone's dollar bills. And that's what I always wanted. So I'll just put on every dollar bill. Striking balls. I remember it was some skit about it a long time ago. It might have been on the old In Living Color, where the person was actually signing each dollar bill instead of just printing it on there. It's pretty funny. Crypto Mike in the house. Crypto Mike, thanks for joining us. That's right. Oh, Canada, ladies and gentlemen. He realizes, like I said before, I have speakers in my in the studio here that they're like an office. They're all over the place. And with the push of a button, all the sound can be routed to that. The mic isn't going there, but my special effects are. So when I hit that button, all of a sudden it booms through the apartment here. Oh, Canada. Could have been Roger Doucette. If you know who Roger Doucette is, put it in the comments. Oh, where has Pedro gone? Let's check. Let's see if he dropped me any notes about. Nope. Nope. He hasn't. Anyway, I'm going to take this time now to thank our sponsor, BidFi. See if I can bring up their BidFi footer. Does that work? No, Defi Dojo. This one. Oh. I'll just bring up their website. How about that? All right, ladies and gentlemen. I think I've got a heavy breather in my ear. Your mic's not currently on, Pedro, but hold on. You're routing through, as they say, the old studio. Let's turn that off. Before we get to the rest of the show here, Wolf says, "You're looking like you're hanging out at a Chicago fire party." I saw them filming. Well, I don't know which one it was. It was either Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Chicago EMS, or you never know which one it is because all you see is the trucks. But they film in this neighborhood where I am here all the time because it's one of those neighborhoods with bungalows and little houses, and that look nice, and there's not a lot of traffic, so they can close the streets. Yes, AI Wolf. I was out for a walk with Mrs. Striking on Zach's conference. Anyway, quickly, let's talk about BidFi real quick. If you haven't noticed, we've been talking about them. BidFi helped sponsor our trip to Toronto for the show, the Blockchain Futurist Conference. And we want to thank them a lot for that. And the way we thank them to it is by signing up for their services. You get free money to trade. And down in the body of this, there's a link to BidFi. Please do it. And then come on the show and ask questions on how to do things. It really helps us out. We only have a few people that have signed up, I think 4 total, for our referral link. And we need another 10 to 20 more to make this an ongoing thing. We'd really appreciate it if you want to learn about trading. If you don't know what actually shorting means or using perpetuals, please ask Pedro and I about it. We're more than glad to teach you about it. Standard disclaimer, trading perpetuals, you can lose more money than you have, but if you do it properly and with safety and stops in it, you don't really lose much money at all. If you don't even use leverage, you barely lose anything, but you also barely gain anything. Anyway, BidFi's been very good to us. Michael and Stella and Nate and the whole crew over there, we thank them for their support and sign up for them. You literally get free money to trade. Anyway, this is the spot in the show where I get to say, good morning, Pedro. What's happening, my man?
Nothing much, man. How you doing? I got to figure out how not to breathe so heavy because I breathe through my nose. So maybe I just drop this down towards my breath,
You just take big volume breaths and I can hear it on the mic.
Really? Oh, I just heard myself do it. I do.
Mitch Bromwell, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. You may be a few minutes behind. Click that live button to join the live. Earlier, I asked if our audio was working, and Mitch just responded, listening and working. So I'm guessing he's 10 minutes or so behind.
I'll jump in here real quick. Now, by the way, you have a very flattering picture of Kamala. I have to admit, it is. I was like, wow.
Did you check out her left hand there?
No, I did not.
Only got 4 fingers.
Oh, that's funny. So it's AI.
Oh, yeah, of course it's AI. What did you think? She's out there, sir. And plus, the AI, for some reason, every picture you do of Kamala Harris, an AI, she's 10 years younger. And I don't understand why that. I mean, it's weird. Dar, baby, the link is in the body here. You know what? Before I get a little crazy, let me...
Maybe because people are more.
Yeah, it's in the body of this message of this video on YouTube. Just go in there and it says new official DYOR Media partner, new, get bonus USDT for opening an account and trading. North America, welcome. Yada. AI Wolf says it's hard to do politicians with AI because of the laws. This one is fabulous. They use Grok for it. Grok's fast and has very lifelike images, but just 4 fingers on that one. And one really big ring finger or pointer finger.
Yeah, I was going to say that thing is ginormous.
Anyway, Pedro, what's happening, man? What's going on in the markets?
Not much. I actually did a little video I was going to send to you, and then I was so frustrated because I was trying to post it on that Facebook page with all the people in it. So I posted in there, and it was just I was having such a hard time. But basically, it is. I posted it in it, and sure enough, man, it basically hit the 50 period moving average on Bitcoin. You can see here where we put this up here, the supply area here, back at when the market was down at this level. We hit a huge sell-off. I think we talked about the market from here as it was selling off. I said I expect to see a pullback, and you said where? And I said about right here. And so sure enough, we saw the market rally up. Said, all right, guys, hold up. We might do some consolidation. and then see it continue down or consolidation and kind of continue up to another level up in here. But I'm seeing how we're working here, and sure enough, we hit our supply area again with the 50 period moving average. And if we close below this 8 period moving average around in at the lower levels here at that 58,000 area, we're gonna see a pretty big. We should see a sell off to test the lows there. So with
Yeah,
that,
I still have that feeling that when you look at the liquidity and all that stuff, that it's going lower. Unfortunately,
yeah,
they still need to flesh out a lot of short position or a lot of long positions. Clean out the market, clean the order books out, and then prepare for another upswing. But who knows when that could happen?
yeah. Well, I'm expecting here the fact if we close like this today, then I expect us to start continuing down. If we close green, or we see the market get about, if we see it get into, let's say, into the 60,000 mark, if we close around 433 area, I'd expect to see it more consolidate and kind of sideways. But if we close in this level here, and we range around that 58,000 ish area, then with that big old wick, I'm expecting to see this thing tomorrow in the evening go up, and then to see it continue down is what I expect. So, yeah, that's about it. And by the way,
down by the river.
Now I'm noticing on the YouTube channel there is a blue mark.
Yeah, the sun changed here. I did my lighting differently today based on it being sunny out, because I have these massive windows in front of me here.
Yes.
I'm gonna go fix that. I'll be right back.
No worries. So I'm expecting to see, like, if we stay at this level right here for the day, which we may, they could be putting in this this market low here and just kind of consolidate between these lower levels. I'm not really seeing any huge green volume, which basically let me know on the intra time frame that we should see some buying stepping in, and nor are we seeing like really any big demand wicks. I guess the 910 one is when we did see this one here, but it's just kind of going sideways right now. So we could just consolidate here, and that 9 o'clock is West Coast time. So let's give you guys heads up. So that'd be 12 o'clock. So this would be the 12 o'clock candle, and let's put that hour chart.
ladies and gentlemen, remember, this is Technical Tuesday. Bring your charts, bring your projects, bring what you want to hear. Pedro and I will talk about the top coins for a little bit here, but of course, if you want to hear about your other projects, get your community out, drop them the link to the show, have them come on in, and people that have community in here get their stuff reviewed first. Big volume on the sell here today. Pedro, I knew that. I watched this thing form here, this little, I don't know, the big green candle buy there, and then it come over, and I was like, I wonder if a little flag is forming there. But all of these, when it shows weakness at the end of the flag here before it dropped, I'm always like, nope, that thing's going to drop. It's just like, to me, like, without having a lot of technical analysis skill there, it just says, it looks like it's running out of gas. And then right as I think about, well, maybe I should short that, I look away for a second, and then I look back, and it already dropped. And I'm like, damn, missed it. Anyway, you're on mute, Pedro. SFC says, pre-sale is live on Infineon blockchain.
Ooh, really? This is good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. You have a token that's supposed to be your be all end all, and then you pull the liquidity, and then go to relaunch it and have another pre-sale. It's just tell people to buy the old one and then just rename it.
They could do that, but then how would they raise up more money?
Derek says, how about control token? We'll look at control token in a little bit. We're going to go over Pedro, let's go over like the top couple coins first here to see how they're reacting to this. We'll just use the word pathetic market.
All right, so let's check out here real quick the ETH chart here. So the ETH chart is definitely starting to see a larger sell-off. And it's real interesting to see with what's actually happening here. So they're actually lower than what we saw here. One of the things that I'm bringing up here is it's hitting that 20-period moving average. And I talked about this yesterday. We're seeing it kind of go a little bit further down. I want to see it, and I brought this up. I said, if we see ETH start to rally, we'll start to see then Bitcoin start to rally. But if ETH starts to sell off, then we'll see a sell-off. You can see here that 400-period moving average looks like we're starting to go below this. So it looks like this is starting to pick up in volume as we're selling off. So again, I think we're going to start to see the next leg down with BTC and ETH. Now let's check out where will we go? That's a great question. I expect us to at least come back test that 2300 to the 2200 mark area here, and then after that, if this does not hold, the next level I'd expect us to hit, and let's check out the actually monthly.
Is there a chart that shows the BTC to ETH dominance?
Yes,
it just seems like ETH is just trading with Bitcoin.
Yeah, well, again, it is because it's now institutionalized. So
right.
what they do is they'll go through, and based off of their risk parameters and what they're wanting to do with it, it will have more of a higher swing. Like if you look at the NASDAQ, right? The NASDAQ has higher swings, but ultimately it's going to follow Papa S&P 500. Whereas a good way to look at it is NASDAQ is like a sporadic, hyperactive teenager. It's all over the place, right? We'll start to see the personalities play out here with Ethereum and how it starts to come, because obviously as institutions keep acquiring the asset here, this product, they're going to be looking then how to play in relationship. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I mean, I wasn't alive when they were making up, or I wasn't really in the market as they were making up a lot of the current indexes, right, that we look at. But it's going to be really interesting to see how these ETFs play out with each other, and as the market makers and institutions really start to figure out what they want to do with these and their plan, it's going to be really interesting how they actually trade. Will they trade independently? I think they might ultimately. I think they're going to have their own ecosystem, just like how gold is separate than crude oil, and how crude oil is separate than wheat, right? It's going to have, and I think each coin is going to be different in the trade. But as of right now, as they're accumulating the assets here, or the product like Ethereum and stuff, I think we're definitely going to see a change down the road. But as of right now, it's just pretty much going to probably mirror each other until they want to start to really pull things up a little bit different.
All right, Mitch Bromwell says, I'm here because of the Control Token Discord and decided to give you a listen after a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket Starlink satellites launch this morning, and I'm still listening.
Cool.
Yeah, the missus and I just spent some time in Chicago at the Museum of Science and Industry, and one of the things we went through was the space exhibit, which has been updated recently, and it's got one of SpaceX's Dragon capsules that the one that's there actually has been to the space station twice. It's really cool. And when you're up close to it, you're like, how the hell did this thing get back in one piece? I mean, the amount of damage done to it by the plasma coming back into the atmosphere is amazing. And I'm not just talking about the heat shield on the bottom. I mean, the whole thing is cooked. But it was really interesting. It's good to see Mr. Bromwell there. You don't happen to live near the Cape, do you? And watch these things in person? Anyway, as always, thanks for watching. And whoever dropped us in Control Token's Discord, thank you very much. We're going to have to go over Control Token at one point in the show. Pedro, what is going on with Solana? Solana has getting a lot of news lately. We talk about Solana all the time because of the pump fund.
So it's
influence and all that type of stuff. But what's really going on there?
From a trading standpoint, you can see here that they're actually putting in a pretty decent base. The only issue that I don't like about it is there's a lot of absorption of orders here down at the bottom, so it makes this bottom a little bit weaker. Now, yes, we have a decent amount of buyer wicks, but in the same sense, I'm really bullish at that 92.88 area, which is this green line here at that top, down to that monthly 20, which is sitting right here at that 73. It's going to be a nice open. And the reason why I say that is because I'd expect it to at least do a sell-off to pick up buyers before we make that next leg up. Right here's another. This is a really good area, and then the next area that I'm extremely bullish at is that 17 and 15 area. It coming back down to these levels here potentially could be a once in a lifetime pickup again. So if you are saving up money for Solana, I would just wait potentially that we could see a major sell off down to that 16, 15 area. But if you're still accumulating at this area of that 92 to 79 area is real important. On the back end, if this doesn't sell off, then obviously you can dollar cost average as we're continually moving up. I always encourage everybody to do at least once a month or once a week. Again, this is not financial advice, but dollar cost averaging, just we've seen over the period of 50 years, 100 years of buying into the market, you'll average out a good price. But as a trader, I'll be picking up $92 to $79 ish area, and then down if it sells off down at these lower levels of that 16, 15 area.
Man. If it goes back down to 16, Solana's finished.
But we talked about it already when it hit down at these low levels, right? Like it was finished. So
that was the FTX debacle area.
Right, but it's not. I'm not. Again, we keep
Rollin' Rod. Good morning. Thanks for joining the live stream. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Rollin'. Keep them doggies rolling. Rawhide.
Anybody? Bueller.
Just watched the Blues Brothers again the other day. It's so awesome.
It's a good show. Or it's a good movie.
Anyway, while you're on Solana, let me take this time here. Crypto Lifer, my friend Sam, posts, I think most people in the space really need to look at the meme game and realize it's not all what you thought. Once you see it for what it is, you'll think twice about buying a meme. Look here. Out of the millions of tokens, he's talking about pump.fun, 15 got to a $10 million market cap, stayed above it for weeks. I'd rather make slow money on Bitcoin and stack generational wealth. I'll buy a meme here and there, but it'll be very small percentage of profits. Let me see if I can make this chart a little bigger here. Pump.fun coins launch. This is such an interesting stat, guys. Just to think of the money these guys made at 0.2 sol each. Coins launch. 1.7 million tokens launched on pump.fun. Unbelievable. How many times did a project make it over to Radium when they got up to 60,000 in market cap and went over to Radium? Yeah, only 23,000. 1.4%. Think of that. How many of the projects ultimately got shown in CoinGecko? 141.008. And maintain a $10 million market cap for multiple weeks. 0.001. 15 out of 1.7 million. That's amazing. Even if, let's just say half of these. Remember, Pump.fun launches on Solana, everybody. So while we're talking about it. Even if, let's just say 700,000 of those tokens are tests or people screwing around and stuff like that. there's only, let's say it's 50%. Say half of that, 850,000, are bunk. It's still the amount of success on Pump.Fund is so low. It's hardly even measurable. Yet, the FOMO is so strong that because projects like Mother and Caitlyn or Jenner and the other things like that got tons of press, the FOMO happens. And so, frankly, back to your chart, Pedro, on Solana, that volume from 1.7 million tokens, and we've talked about it before, it drives Solana. So what happens when people finally wise up? This is a trick question, by the way, for all you viewers. People wise up and say, all right, meme coins are done. I'm not going to do it. What happens to Solana? Remember, this is a trick question. All right, I'll give the trick answer. Because the degens will never stop with the meme coins. Since the Pump.Fund is such a casino, casinos keep going. As long as there's projects and money going in and out, casinos will go forever. And that's all Pump.Fund is.
Here's the thing,
thus,
though.
My confidence in Solana is not strong.
Here's the thing. People, for as long as we can think, as long as there has been money to blow, okay, it didn't matter what the economic situation was. It doesn't matter. Alcohol, prostitution, and gambling have always been around. It is true as the sun rises, as strong as if you have a government, sooner or later they are going to tax you, okay?
Otherwise known as Ibiza and Macau.
There you go. So the reality is this: is no matter how much you say that, I think it is a good undertone for Solana, because Solana realize, man, if they make it smart for them to go through, that's nothing but a cash cow for them. They're bringing in so much money. Why wouldn't they allow it? Ultimately, that money, they're building a whole entire ecosystem apart from that. So it's like,
right.
Why would you not? I'm the opposite of it. I very much think, what, allow it. What are your thoughts?
Welcome, Sean. What's everyone doing today? Krypton calls, investing with DeFi, Sean. Thanks for joining us, Sean.
What up, Sean?
A number of our viewers have brought up the Infineon launch. And someone tell me how to say that properly. Infineon? What is it? And of course, we want to learn all about it. I think, Sean, I think it would be a good thing to have you guys, or just you or whomever, come on the show and talk about it. And your roadmap and all that type of stuff. What's going on? Why don't we arrange that for either this week or next week, or something like that. Anyway, welcome, Sean. Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. For those of you who don't know, Sean is one of the founders of Operation Phoenix and runs his own marketing company called Krypton Calls and Investing, and does marketing for a lot of crypto projects.
He does. He actually very much. I was going to say, I've seen his show a couple times, so he actually does it pretty good. It's actually pretty entertaining. Does a good job. Very much.
And then quickly to everyone watching on X, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. The viewership is going up over there. Slowly it is, but going up. Thanks for joining us. And of course, everyone on LinkedIn, thanks for joining us. Included, usually I don't include Technical Tuesdays on LinkedIn, but because we're also talking about the Democratic National Committee meeting here in Chicago, I put it on LinkedIn also to get some more credible traction over there, as they call it, from their AI. But one of the things I did want to mention, I might as well do this while I'm talking about the DNC. There's Twitter is afire, with the things
Kamala.
about protesters and how Chicago's just one big burning dumpster fire because all the protesters, and how they're charging the gates and all this type of stuff to get in, and all that type of stuff. And I said, all right, well, I don't see like that kind of evidence of it here in the city. So I got striking at daughter on the back of the motorcycle last night, and we like to go out for a ride every now and then. And we said, all right, let's go downtown Chicago and see what's going on. So we went down to the United Center where this whole thing's going on. And the president had just arrived, so some roads were closed from motorcades and things like that. And Camilla gets her own motorcade. Motorcades for everyone. And there were hardly any protesters. They have a little place called the, I don't know, such and such park where they've set up a stage to give speeches and all this type of stuff. But the masses that people are talking about on Twitter aren't there. There's literally more police. And you know what there's more of? Vloggers. Dudes with cameras that are like, oh my God, look, oh my God. And there's like, there's a bunch of the pro-Palestinian knuckleheads running around saying that the world has ended. But there's not lots of them. It's not like, 1968 when they were here and cops gave them all the business. Meanwhile, but just so you know, if you want to protest in Chicago, they've reissued those 1968 billy clubs, the hickory sticks, to the cops to give people a whap, 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 whap. And so I brought this up on Zach's Breakfast Club earlier today. When you're watching the news, except for us, because we're just nothing but facts here. Remember to do your own research. That's what we talk about DYOR here. Do your own research because there's lots of fake info out there. I've got the DNC hashtags on X queued up, and they just run down. I'd say 80% of the things that are tagged for the DNC are fake news, false, fake news, trolls. Accounts with lots of numbers and zeros that were formed last week in that. And so that's not to say that protesters aren't going to show up. Maybe on the night that Camilla accepts, there's going to be shit tons of them. But right now on the internet, it's saying that, oh my God, you can literally go down to the United Center right outside the fences and check things out. And there's no big deal. There's not tons of protesters.
See, here's my thing.
I think they just pulled them over as they're driving here. They're like, got a license plate out. You're going to have to do 5 days in jail.
I just don't understand why they're making such a big hoopla about it. I mean, when it's, I remember when Seattle was supposedly going crazy. You had all these during riots during COVID. I called my boy up and I said, "Yo, how bad is it out there?" He's like, bro, he goes, "There's nothing, man. It's a few." Like he's like, "Dude, it's just there's a few people up in Capitol Hill that are rioting and trying to do something, but the cops have actually said, you step out of line, we'll knock you out. Like, there's just no, like just straight up, like, you can stay over here. You can.
Mama said, knock you out.
Like, it was really kind of like just enforced. People were not playing. So I just don't understand why they, is it really for views, or is it just simply trying to throw people off in a way where it's like it scares them? Just, it doesn't make sense to me why you would do something like that,
I just don't. As you may suspect, I don't understand it, and thankfully my view of that has worn off on my daughter, unless my daughter was totally shining me there. She agreed with me too. She's like, I don't know, I don't understand those protester people either.
I mean, I don't think we really have, like, I was talking to a kid. I went to go get my car at Jiffy Lube, and we were talking. He said something about, oh, we're here in America, it's bad. And I looked at him and said, have you ever traveled anywhere? This 19-year-old kid working at Jiffy Lube, and he goes, no. I go, please do, please.
Yeah, absolutely. If you haven't left the U.S., I mean, what'd the kid say, Pedro?
Oh, he was actually really receptive. I was actually really impressed with his respect. But I said, go down to South America. Go down to Africa. Even in Europe, we get a lot of stuff here that you ain't going to get in Europe. And there's just things. Now, granted, the food out here is trash. I don't like how everything we have is filled with chemicals and stuff like that. But there are a lot of amenities that you get here that you aren't going to get in many other places. I mean,
I always used to do that, Pedro. I'd take my engineers that used to work for me. They were mechanical and design engineers, and I'd say, all right, we got a trade show in Dubai or somewhere like that to go to. And they'd be like, I ain't going to no one of the Middle East countries. Not going to happen. My wife won't let me. She's too scared. Might get blowed up. And every one of them would get off the plane. We'd get off the plane in Dubai, and they're like this. What the hell's going on here? Wow, this is really nice. When can I come back? Every time. And so there's there's places that are nice out there. And then I took some of them to Africa. And then when you take people to Africa, their whole concept changes about life. It's like, wow, it's really nice in the United States.
Yeah, I mean, it really is not.
It's amazing. There's no people scratching dirt and chasing chickens for dinner.
Mm-hmm. And now, listen, there are places in Africa, like South Africa, or Kenya, that are,
Sure, lots of this. Kenya, Nairobi's pretty nice in certain
Nairobi.
spots.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. It's if you step out of the main city areas, you're pooping in a hole, or you know what I'm saying? Like and it's not being cleaned for 4 or 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things that, and that's down in in Mexico. You go you go out to outhouses. They don't have a running system, a sewage system throughout all of most places. So it's important to understand. Granted, you go north, you go to Canada, right? You got great places. And I think what's really interesting is to see how the DNC really plays down America's prosperity and its ability to really help people out. Yeah, they want to funnel all the immigrants in, i.e. Kamala or Kamala, however we want to say it. And in the same aspect, I find it as an insult to.
Oh, just don't get me started on that. Just finish your thought process there, please, so my brain doesn't leak out my head.
Yeah. So the basic it's this is that America is pretty dope, and I'm telling you, oh snaps! Oh, we got to do a shout out.
I know. That keep finishing your thought.
So the thought is this: is that there's so many amenities and freedoms that we get here, and the ability to be able to climb the ladder and work our butts off, whereas the other places around the world there's not opportunity. And the fact is that it's very hard to actually stay healthy there, versus here, like you can
with back to the speeches that we heard Joe Biden yesterday, President Biden, talk about all the great, I mentioned this before you came on there, talk about all the great things that he's done. Listed up amazing stuff that he's done. The stock market's never been better. Everything's better. Might add, the debt has never been higher. But everything is great. Everything is great. And then Camilla's campaign speeches are all, I have a plan to fix all the problems. Wait, which is it? Their own party is saying everything is great, yet only Kamala can fix all the problems. But the party says everything's great. And everyone's going, yeah. I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, hey, you just contradicted your entire party's platform. Anyway, now's the time to drop the alpha here. Maybe not the alpha, but drop the holla button here. Yes. Thank you, Mitch Bromwell, DYOR Media. I've subscribed. Thanks for welcoming me. Mitch, as I always say, the super chats go to bettering this channel and helping Pedro and I get to bring a better production and get the word out to everybody to come watch our show. What we do is we do a somewhat daily talk show called DYOR Live, and that's what we're doing right now. I do the hosting and commentary, and Pedro does the technical analysis, although he's teaching me well. And then the DYOR Media channel has other shows as well, including currently 3 seasons out of a show called Rugged, Ruined, and Wrecked, which is all about all the problems in crypto and rugs, ruins, and wrecks, mismanagement of projects, all that type of stuff. And we, as Pedro and I say, we use this as edutainment. We try to educate via entertainment. And then we also have some podcasts that are currently way behind called Crypto Chit Chats with another host here on the DYOR Media Network, Carmen Crypto. And then I used to do some AMAs too, which you see the thing down here called Space Lounge is what we used to do AMAs for. But currently that's just a placeholder right now until in fact, I need to update that with the BidFi logo. And we're sponsored by a number of people. Not enough yet, but if you have any ideas for sponsors, let us know, and that applies to all of you. So Mitch, thank you for donating. We really appreciate that, and hope all you new people now understand what we do here. Pedro, one of the things someone else posted on Twitter was what's FET? I'm forgetting the name.
FET. All right, let's pull it up here.
Is it Fetch? Is FET Fetch, or is it? I can't remember what it is.
We'll see.
Somebody was talking about how FET was pumping and said, "See, I told you so." So I thought, well, Pedro and I better look into that too.
Yeah, it's Fetch. So it's
and Jesus says there's still houses in Peru. We just poo in a hole. It's like that in a lot of parts of the world. Crypto Mike says that's what Trudeau did. Everything's great. I'm just going to spend all your money. It's amazing how many problems you can fix with an unlimited credit card, right? But what happens when the bill comes due? That's right. Boom, 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 boom. Repo Man shows up.
Well, that's what's
For those of you who don't know, SFC here is a used car dealer. So. Although he says he doesn't finance. So since he doesn't finance car sales, doesn't need to use the Repo Man. But I'm sure he has some experience with that in his life somewhere. Get that lo-fi back on here. Which one do we got here? Dragon Dream? Oh, it's worse. He doesn't send the Repo Man. He says, I show up. Okay. We've never met in person, so this could be a very bad thing. If this hulking Peruvian guy shows up with an iron bar or packing, you just give the keys back. Here you go. That's fine. Didn't need that car anyway.
So actually, Fetch came and hit our demand zone that we had talked about a while back ago, hitting the 70 cents to 68 cent area. So perfect. We've been consolidating, pushing through. So we've been ping-ponging. Let's check out the higher time frame here real quick.
What chart did you just have up there?
This is Fetch. That was the daily chart there on Fetch. And you can see here we sold off through this support area here. So we bounced off a couple times here, which is a flip zone. Boom, but we sold through, came through. So this should act as resistance as we push up. So when you're looking at this, make sure that that's where, and it's acting as resistance at an area there that we could see. So I'm going to remove this here real quick. And then this area here will act as resistant level. Let's post this here. When is this? Boom. 29th, end of the month.
Ooh, I just spelled that wrong. I just posted the normal welcome everyone. Please comment, like, share, just do it. Instead of follow, I put flu.
Flu.
You know what I've lost? I've lost my police microphone.
Boom.
Fell down and I can't find it.
I have fallen and I can't get up.
All right, so Fetch hasn't come back that much. What time frame you got up there now?
This is the weekly chart. And
look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Come today to Jesus' car lot. If you mention DYOR Media, I'll give you 10% off your car purchases.
Oh,
I'm guessing that if you didn't mention DYOR Media, you could get you'd probably get down to 15% off. Car's 10 grand, and they'd be like, "Oh man, can't do 10 grand. No man, can do 8,500. No. I don't know. The tax, you got to include the tax. Can you do the registration fee too in that? Yeah."
Here we go.
We know how this is done, Jesus. You've done it a million times. The rest of us have done it less. But oh no, I can't. Oh no, look, it's got a dent in it. You're like, it's a 20-year-old car. Of course, it has a dent in it. If you don't, I'll give you 40% off. Hey, just sell that Cooper. Move the iron. That's what my uncle calls it. Moving the iron because he's a car dealer. Got to move the iron. Apparently, it's an old industry.
So so it pushed up for the beginning of the month, so that's not a good sign. So the reality is I'm bearish on this pull up, simply because it's not an area like it couldn't get above this candle on control here. We couldn't even touch the highs here, and we're up to the 20th already. And so this now it went up to go down. So I expect to see it pierce through this 89 and come and test this 100 period on that weekly chart here. See if there's any other more support levels coming in. The only saving grace you could see though is if we close above that 20 period moving average on that monthly, then I would expect fetch. It all depends on what it's going to do in the next month. If it goes down first, right, where we see it test this demand, I'll see fetch would probably go higher. But if we see the next month fetch go up first without putting a demand wick, then this thing's going to be down and most likely close below this demand area to test the $50 or excuse me 50-cent area to that 46-cent area at these levels here. But ultimately, as I'm looking at this, it's not a bad retracement though. It's actually a pretty good retracement coming from the $3 mark all the way back down to your 89-cent mark. That's not bad at all. That's actually not bad at all. And then hit our demand zone here shows there's amplitude of buyers, but I'm more bullish here on this level of that 59 55-ish area. That to me, because it already tapped this. If it was going to explode, we would have seen this get really high. At least come test that 50 period moving average on fetch, but it doesn't. So that's for me indication that it's not necessarily weak. It's not necessarily super strong, or even call it strong. So simply because I'm looking at the previous month, we had like the previous month, right? Like it didn't. If this rallied all the way back up to the dollar mark, that'd be a different story, but it didn't. So we'll see what happens here. That's not a bad idea.
I was talking about the Mini Cooper that he's got for sale.
Yeah.
This is how we get involved with our audience here. We even know what cars are on Jesus's lot.
Yes. And every time Jesus returns, it's always a good day.
Although he's changed his name to Succa Free City now, so no more Jesus. So Jesus will no longer rise on our channel or return.
Oh, that's what that is. SF, Sucker Free what?
City. Succa Free City.
Succa Free City.
Anyway, Pedro, we've had a donation from the people at Control Token.
Oh wow.
We've got a couple of fans here. Control Token people, why don't you mention in the Discord that we're going to review the project right now? And Pedro gives an honest evaluation of the chart.
Yeah.
You should still have it in your stuff from yesterday. You have to imagine.
I've got to go back here real quick. Floki, nope. Is it this one here? Leash. Oh, they're not talking. That was funny. Nope. I do not. For whatever reason, it's maybe is it on?
It begins with, does the contract begin with a OX3? Is that the one that we?
I wish
we went over. Someone drop us the contract number. You can't drop the link in the thing, but you can drop the contract address in the comments.
Boom. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can't find it. My bad. Yeah, I'm dropping it in. We'll take care of that. That'll be fun. Yo, so a cool thing happened. So I went down to Best Buy. I was looking at a tablet, right? And looking at laptops, checking things out. And so one of the guys was like, dude, why don't you go to the box? I said, what's the box thing? He goes, basically, it's laptops and tablets that have been returned. There's really nothing wrong with them, but because they've been opened up,
Right.
box.
I bought a number of those.
Yeah, I didn't realize, dude. I got myself a $1,200 laptop for like $500.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Like, I was like, there you go. There we go. So with that, I realized I could totally show my face, but I got to get a green screen, and I'm actually gonna have to start showering and shaving, and
Oh, then you'll be like way too late.
I'll just be like, oh snaps.
After a while, you realize people don't care. Like I used to, like for the show, I used to get, put some time into it, look decent, all that. This is bedhead, and I have my glasses on here, holding it in place. And the Mrs. and I went for a long walk earlier today, and I said, I'm just gonna change my shirt for the show. Ultimately, if we had millions of viewers and we're gonna get picked up by the network, then that might be different. But when it's just us homies here, just chilling,
just hanging.
Hey, Seuss, he said the cop car is fun to drive. Fun. Here's another fun fact from Tom. When I used to live in Southern California, and I worked for a company in Cincinnati. When I'd go back there, I was in the automotive business. They had tons of kind of, they call them mules from General Motors. They're cars that they sent down. They don't have real VIN numbers and all this type of stuff, and just put manufacturer's tags on them and drive them wherever you want. And instead of renting a car, to get one of the mules. One of them was an old Caprice Classic, the big whales, not the square body ones, but when they made those whale rounded ones in the early 90s that were really ugly. But it was a police package car, and it had little flashing lights in it, and the bubble flashlights on the A-pillars and that type of stuff. And so I would just drive it. And it's infuriating to drive that car because everyone drives the speed limit around you. People look in their mirror and they see a cop car and they go the speed limit. And you're like, fuck, I just need to get from A to B. Why is everyone driving so slow? And you're like, oh, they think I'm a cop. And I'm like, oh. So then it was a sale. All the salesmen would come back and they'd race to get not that car. And I always had the longest flight, so I always got that car. Except the perk here's the perk, that I'd go to the convenience store and the guys wouldn't charge me for coffee. I'd just walk in and they'd be like, oh, that's all right. I'm like, okay. It took me a while to realize that I was getting free. And I'm like, why are they charging me for coffee? Yeah.
Crown Big.
Right. It was the old Caprice Classics. And there's the convenience store. You pull right in front, glass. The guy sees the police lights on it and stuff, and obviously thinks you're a police officer. And I mean, I was like, my mid-20s at the time, driving an unmarked car, but with lights on it. And it was hardly, it didn't look like a police officer. It looked like I was going to work at the factory. Anyway, I got free coffee for about 2 weeks. Then I go in there one time and the actual police are in there. And I'm like, no, I'm going to start paying for this. This isn't right. And so I started paying for it. But I got to tell you, one time I did fuck around with it once, and I shouldn't have. As my sister and I were talking to our friends who were all in Lexington for the Kentucky Derby. And my sister's like, hey, everyone's down in Lexington. Let's go down for the Derby, or at least for the party. I was like, I wasn't doing anything. Like, okay. And so I said, I only got the cop car. And she said, that'll have to do. We made it from Cincinnati to Lexington, which is like, say, an hour and a half drive, in like 45 minutes. we just hauled, not Lexington, Louisville, down the interstate, left lane the whole way. As soon as the car would be in the way, I just hit the lights. So illegal. And if any actual police officers, this is just a story and untrue fabrication of not real events.
I was about to say, dude, you're giving yourself.
It was long ago. Statute of limitations are over. This is just a story, like all the other stories I lie about here on the air all the time. And we made it there so fast. People are like, how the hell did you get here so fast? I'm like, well, I drove that. And they're like, oh.
I had fun. That's how we did it. Actually, I want to show my I'm gonna play this. See if I can change this up. Here we are. Can you guys hear this? Can you guys see this right here by chance?
We're looking at a chart.
Yeah.
Trading view chart.
Yeah, I did a video of this last night. I want to see because I just thought this was cool. Did a video here, but it was basically saying, guys, it's this Facebook group I kind of post in every now and then, and I basically, some people are like, "Oh, Bitcoin's gonna boom," and I said, "No, guys, it's not. Don't buy this rally," and because certain indicators were, this is consolidating, and basically they're just tricking. It's basically
They just tricking.
So it was really interesting. So I had this. Let me know if you can hear the volume.
We're not getting any volume now.
Oh shoot!
Oh, you know what? It's barely there. I can barely hear it.
Okay. Boom.
Look at Pedro. Got some new tech gear.
Mm-hmm.
While Pedro's getting that sorted, thought I'd show. I don't know how many of you saw this in our group. Me and the man, Stephen Colbert here. Colbert is in town in Chicago for the Democratic National Convention, filming his show downtown at the Chicago Auditorium. And we ran into each other the other day at Wrigley Field. And us media people, we hang out together. It's a club.
Mm.
But very nice guy. I've been a fan of his style of humor for a long time, and trust me, his whole shtick is humor. And people think, oh, he's this and that for politics. The whole thing is humor. He started here at Second City in Chicago, and if those of you who don't know, Second City is where like half the Saturday Night Live people come from. The improv comedians galore come out of that place, and he's progressed to having pretty much the most popular late night show on now. Or late night, whenever it is. And then he sang the 7th inning stretch at Wrigley, which was a pretty cool thing. Pedro, did you get your stuff sorted out there?
I can't. It's not wanting to work for me. I'm like, come on, buddy.
Dar Baby says fanboy. Guilty.
But he's a cool fanboy to be for. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I almost don't fault somebody for being a fanboy of him. He's one of those guys that he's not a total douche, and he's a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a good guy to be a fan for. But he's still, he's down to earth. Why won't this work? How do I get this in?
Is the volume on your player, is it down?
No, it's not. Actually, I've exploded. Or I've exploded. I've turned it on. I've turned it on.
Yeah, I have a feeling what's happening is it's trying to play out of your speakers and your microphone is trying to pick it up instead of it routing directly through your computer.
I'll figure it out. I'll do it yesterday. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll figure it out. But I just thought it was kind of cool because I was talking about it. And then this is last night as we were seeing, and you guys have seen me do this many, many times. But I talked about hitting that 50 period moving average sitting right here. And then
what project you got up?
This is Bitcoin.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
That's right. So I was actually going to put on the short here, but then I got talking with a friend of mine and I just completely forgot. And I woke up and I was like, ugh. So.
Did anyone drop us the control token contract address?
Yeah, we're kind of waiting on that. So go through it. It is all good. It's good.
Let's see. Let's look at.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, here it is. It's
Yeah, this baby's starting to get going. We're going to see this thing.
All right, Pedro, I'm dropping you the
contract. Excellent.
As soon as you see the chart, you'll be like, oh, yeah, I remember that.
Oh, yeah. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Oh, yeah.
All right, I want to see this viewer count and the likes, number of likes going up here, ladies and gentlemen. I want to see that number of likes going up. If you hear me.
If you hear him. Here we are. Here we go. I'm actually thinking about going to Boston this weekend. Boston, if we got any Boston fans out there.
Boston.
Gonna go to Boston. 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 I'm gonna go to Boston. Here we are. So, boom. Control. There you are. Okay. Ooh, that's a couple big sell-offs there. Yeah, you guys are pumping, definitely, man.
You got it behind our heads.
Let's go right here. Yeah, so you guys are definitely pumping.
Daily chart looks great. If you just trade the daily chart, that's nothing but profits.
Profits. Moving.
Is Derek or Mitch still here in the house? Still watching?
All right, so we have nothing. Let's go right here. Hour, 2 hour.
While you're putting the analysis to that, I'm gonna bring up our website, the DYOR website. If you haven't, viewers, if you haven't seen this, put a little bit of work into getting this up recently to make sure we had a decent website for the show. So if we get people going, one of the most important parts here is this button up here at the top called Sponsor or Hire Us, in which we just go about talking about how we are a team. We're horse. I mean, for hire. It slipped out. My inner monologue slipped out again. A couple of things. If you're a project or product in the crypto industry and you want a product placement on our show, let us know. If you want to sponsor a segment similar to what DeFi Dojo does, let us know. Running these shows is technologically heavy. Pedro just had to buy a new laptop. I really want to switch over to running this in an Unreal Studio. And I've taught myself how to do that, but can't afford the computers yet. We'd love to have you as a technology sponsor. And if you want us to help sponsor us at a trade show, like with what BitFi just did with us at the Blockchain Futurist Conference, let us know. And see, I have a couple examples of what we do here. Like Audit Chain hired me to do their podcast, to just run their podcast for them. So we can bring our talent to help run your project and produce that event for you. I mean, everyone's capable of doing their own live streams now. It's pretty simple. But when you want to do it professionally and do it well, you hire someone else to do it, because if you spend a lot of time doing it, it just takes away from what you do. Or we can, without even being on camera, we can produce your live event. I did a, this isn't the right thumbnail, but I did a, for these guys, Champion. I did a comedy night. I produced their crypto comedy night. It was pretty good. Then I added this one up here for the Futurist Convention. We host your live events, in which Pedro and I hosted discussions on their live stream in between when they needed color commentary and other types of things going on. We do all that. And so if you're a project out there, or if you're in a project and you're like, that's what our project needs. That's what Control Token needs. That's what Infineon needs. Oh, wait, Infineon's got plenty of guys in it. Bring those people to us. And hit our website, dyornetwork.media, for that. And get this. These are all our shows. Rugged, Ruined, and Wrecked, DYOR Live. Rugged, Ruined, and Wrecked, DYOR Live. Oh, Somehow, Pedro's ruined it. Right. DYOR live. Oh, somehow. Are you messing with your audio, Pedro?
No, I haven't touched nothing.
You messing with your audio, Pedro?
No, I haven't touched nothing.
Oh, look, we're live. You messing with your audio? We're live on our website.
No, I haven't touched nothing.
Oh, look, we're live. You messing with your audio?
There you
We're
go.
speeding back around. Look at it's going to infinity windows here. I forgot that I do that. We're live on our website.
Yes, we are. That's funny. But I think one of the things that I think is super important in relationship to our affinity of Windows is we do bring a flavor of a comedic timing, and in additionally to that, we have the ability to talk about real serious situations and deliver in a way that is in a professional manner. I've done professional speaking. Tom is an excellent source when it comes to interviewing people, how to set up. Well, I mean, you do. I mean, you set things up really well for audio clips. You make sure that you make them. You do a great job, I think.
Thank you very much, sir. And I got to tell you, for your first time working on the mic in front of me on the stage there, you did a great job as well. And I thought you were going to be much more rough than you were, but you were not. I tried.
I actually went through, I took down, writing notes. Like I said, I really was trying to be calm, because I'm great behind the mic here, right? But actually making sure that I'm staring at the correct. And I read through a couple blogs, saw how to handle yourself. Really important to understand. You stay sideways, and the way you communicate, how you look at the camera. So
yeah, and like I always suggest is go back and rewatch your stuff. I rewatch my interviews endlessly, and even the show, I'll go back and re-listen to the shows. And Mrs. Striking rolls her eyes and bangs her head. No, please, no more. I can't do it. But I learned from it. I learned what words don't work well. I learned that when my head is too animated, I talk over here and nobody can hear me. And you learn things from it, like anything else. Anyway, Pedro, we only got a couple more minutes in here. I got to get going again today. Anything else going on with Control Token here?
Yeah, so it looks like it's pulling back here to this level right here. You can see around the 003376 area. It's actually a really nice area to pick up some if you're looking to go here. This is the 8-hour 8-period moving average. They don't necessarily have an 8-day, but this does concern me. This right here, a sell-off of that magnitude, is a pretty decent sell-off, but you saw some volume coming in. But when I look at that hour sell-off here, that looked pretty big with a lot of volume. So now we're starting to see it can't get above a couple of these moving average. So again, this is down at this lower level here of that 00288 area, is one of those areas that's potentially a pullback area here. So for that,
what time frame is that chart you have up there?
This is the hour chart. So it's one of those things that you could be looking at here. From a, here we are here real quick. Right here is real important. As I'm looking at this, I actually just saw this here real quick. The Control Token here. This level right here. Let's see if we can get.
What are you in a diner or something?
Nah. Somebody's cooking some stuff. So, here you go. That's people in the background here real quick. Yeah, actually, I'm actually looking to get a secondary, what do you call it? So I want a, what do they call it? And I've been looking at this, where you can put screens in a backpack and move. I'm looking to get like a 24-inch screen.
Yeah, they have those screens that just clip onto your main screen on your laptop, and they fold open.
Yeah, but I don't like those because those aren't big enough for me. So,
well, it goes in your backpack.
No, I don't disagree. Yeah, but there are also other backpacks that are for traders, like that actually
I see
are,
what you mean.
yeah, they're larger. I didn't realize they had them, and I was like, oh, that is just cool. And so for me, as I was looking at that, I'm like, I gotta get one of those. This guy's like, yeah, man, you can actually get them. There's this website you can go to, and they specifically make them for us. And I was like, dude, that is just so cool. You know, it was actually made by a trader.
Buy a trader.
Yeah, because he was, he was traveling around the world and doing his own thing. And it was like, dude, I'm tired of having to like use
Crappy monitors.
yeah,
Or
or
a
just
TV in your hotel room.
yeah, exactly. So he made it, and I was like, oh, that is so dope. So he has a little backpack thing. I think it's just, I thought it was brilliant. It's an absolutely brilliant idea. So I like this area right here. That's 0027 ish area. This is a good little area as a pullback, and then it lines up with a lot of the higher time frame moving averages as I'm looking at it. So I mean, you can see right here. Come on, there you go, Ada. Come on, there you are. You can see here it could be a pullback to this lower area here. So there's two spots. There's that 00276 area that I like, and then also that 0033 area. So if you're looking to be buying in, those are good areas. You should see a pullback and a number of buyers at those levels. So real nice. Yeah, but ultimately it looks great. I just am a little concerned about those sell-offs yesterday and today. So we'll see what happens. That's in a nutshell. Now, let's talk here real quick, and in relationship to, come on, a few of these other Doge. So Doge actually came up and hit the 20-period moving average here, which is going to be that supply area here. So this month is a pretty good area here for it to, but I'm expecting Doge to sell off. I'm always, Doge, it was my first meme coin.
It's always going to sell off. It's a meme coin.
But here's the thing though. I don't think Elon Musk is done. He's still putting money into their blockchain, and he's very much still working with their dev team. So it's one of those things. I don't see it going away. I think sooner or later he's going to come out with something that's going to be like, oh, and Dogecoin, right? So
it's like I don't hold it anymore, but it seems like it should have $200 of it just sitting in there, just waiting for the Musk announcement of some sort.
Yeah.
I still can't figure out why he doesn't have his own, Tesla currency, buy upgrades, something like that to your cars, whatever.
That's what I think. That's exactly what I'm thinking that he's going to do. Is
they
that
could be called coils for Tesla coils.
Or door. Wow, it's so hard for me to say. I don't know why. Or Dogecoin could be that coin for that, because like I said, it's already all established. He's trying to do stuff with them. I don't see why he wouldn't.
Yeah.
Speaking of coins here, meme coins, Shiba Inu, Elon Musk, Mr. Beast, and Taylor Swift.
Haven't mentioned them in a while.
Yeah, we haven't, but I was thinking about that today. So here's the thing. This area here on Shiba Inu, I think we're going to come back and retest this. I didn't want to, I'm not going to say this in the that little group, but the fact is that we're not really putting any demand wicks. So if you guys are looking to be picking up Shiba Inu again, that's 041088 to that 041000 is a good area to be looking for a pull back into it. There I'm gonna be picking up a little bit more there as we come back down. Got a little bit of a limit order going on right now. So and then the other one I want to go over. Where are you at? Here we are. No, where is my? Nope. Stable coins. Here we go. This is I was looking at this earlier today. So this is the Singularity DAO token here. Came down to our area that I'm expecting it. Found some support, and so I think I don't think we're done hearing about AI projects. If we see, dude, it sounds like water. It sounds. I don't know what that is. So, but this area here is a pretty decent area of buying. But if this thing sells off further, right, for Singularity DAO, from a standpoint, my next spot here.
Down. Gonna be living in a van down by the river. That's what's going on with that. If it goes through that next one.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, it's not like, I think one of the things that people always want, right, is like, for example, look at Detroit. Detroit right now. From a standpoint of a business, right? They are I figure out how to do that. From a standpoint of a business, they very much, as a company, are way oversold. So people right now, like, what, remember how it was
Detroit? What?
Just inner city Detroit.
Oh, the city itself.
Yeah.
Talking about a project.
No, I'm using this as an example. They were oversold, and like, ultimately, people live there. So this project could be oversold. Like, people are trying, but I ultimately, it's a good project, and I don't see it going away. So if it sells off a little bit further, pick some up. Obviously this is not financial advice, but it's one of those things for me, as I'm looking at, it's pretty clear, like, this, it's
right there, baby. Detroit's the hood.
Well, here's the thing. Detroit is also climbing up. You know what I'm saying? They're not so much.
That's because it couldn't have gotten any worse. That's why.
And so people are going.
You got to the point where it's already at 0 degrees Kelvin. Can't get any colder than that. It's just only up from there. I remember driving through I used to go to Detroit a lot for work. Drove up one time to Detroit from Chicago, and there was a house on fire next to the highway, next to I-94. Had an hour-long meeting, and I was supposed to stay the night. I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna drive back. Just gonna drive back. Drove back. House was still on fire. No fire department in sight. Just one cop car sitting there watching the thing burn. And it wasn't like it was a controlled thing, because when they're controlled, people are around it. All it was one cop car, and the house just, by the time I came back, the structure had collapsed, and it was just a smoking rubble. It's like, that's Detroit.
But recently, of the last 3 years, 2 years, people got in and started buying up and basically gentrifying it, and really going through and just rebuilding a lot of stuff. There's some industry going in there now. So it's, just because it's a dumpster fire doesn't mean it stays a dumpster fire. If we look at the 8-period moving average on Singularity DAO, you can see how we're selling off here. I do expect this to come back down here to these lower levels, though, that 23-cent area. So I'm gonna be I am bullish at these levels here. So every time I see a sell-off, I'm buying. So just giving you guys heads up, this is one of my guys that I'm looking at for movement. Same thing when it comes to StarkNet. Obviously, right? We're seeing sell-offs, and I'm just picking up as we keep selling off. Because it hasn't, nothing's changed except just the demand for it right now. But once something else comes along, again, we'll see it pick back up again, and all of a sudden you're glad you put in over a period of 6 months, you know, $500 to $1,000. So, anyways, that's it in a nutshell. What I wanted to bring up and kind of point out, the AI stocks or AI coins are very much undervalued right now. So, definitely looking at them.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the rest of the week here, I didn't update my chart here, so it still shows Monday and Tuesday show, but tomorrow will be Wednesday on at the same time, same bat channel. We're going to have a guest on. Pedro, you want to describe the guest tomorrow?
Yeah, his name is Cole. I actually met him through a friend of mine in trading, and then he was telling me how he's doing all this stuff with Bitcoin and really cool. I said, "Oh, that's cool," right? And then I met him again randomly at the conference over at the Futures Conference in Toronto. And it was so random that I was like, okay, I think the universe, God, whatever you believe, I believe in God, is trying to say, hey, you need to link up with this guy. And so it was actually when I was hanging out and talking with Bitcoin.com CEO, he's like, you need to link up with this guy. And I was like, all right, cool, let's meet up. So, and then found out, he's a pretty cool guy, real cool guy. So his name is Cole. He basically just has POSs, payment machines,
Point of sales
or point of sales machines, where they actually go through and they sell or buy, and instead of using a currency of the fiat year round, you can actually use Bitcoin. So he goes through and he sets that up, and so I'm like, this is a brilliant idea. Really, really low fees, better than what you can get with any of the other organizations. So it's pretty nice. I think it's brilliant. So he's going to come and talk about that. We're going to talk about the market, talk about news, charting. So kind of just hang out and talk about himself, but also talk about everything crypto. So real smart guy. Knows a lot of stuff.
Also, let's see, on Thursday, I'm trying to reschedule one of these DeFi Dojo things, but the group they've just been keep rescheduling. So we might have guests for you then. I've also got Max Chain in my notes here. They're going to come on the air and talk to us. We met those guys, Max Capital, Nyan, Kevin, and Pedro. I cannot recall the guy from Wales. James? Is his name James?
Oh, shoot.
We're gonna have them on the show probably next
James,
week. I've got Nyan in my direct messages talking about it, and also who was the other group? I can't remember. They got another one, and then of course today we saw DeFi Sean come on, and gonna want to talk about the Infineon launch and all that type of stuff. So we'll get all these scheduled. So we should have some good guests coming up to broaden the talk out from just Pedro and I blabbering on. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll be here all week here in Friday with a full rant Friday. Pedro, once again, you're going to be leading the full rant Friday. I might just have to tune in. It's Mrs. Striking's last day here in Chicago before she heads back. She's taking the day off for work, which means I have to do the yes dear, yes dear, and yes dear. Although I might be around because if I have another project that they need to get some work done for, which means that I will not be out doing stuff on Friday. So we're gonna have a busy week, and probably a busy week next week too, ladies and gentlemen. So we should have a good time. Which means that it's time to play the kick tracks, ladies and gentlemen. Pedro, anything else for the viewers here today?
No, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I do appreciate you guys coming in. Be safe out there in this crypto jungle.
Be safe in the crypto jungle. Oh, you know what I forgot to do today? I forgot to play your Technical Tuesday.
Oh, you did? Yeah. You spent some time doing
Hold on. Let's re-rack that. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Where did we got here? Media 2. Where is Media 2? Let's make sure I got audio on Media 2 so I don't have to go back and do this again. Media 2 is turned off. Look at that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Technical Tuesday here. So we're going to have lots of good stuff from Pedro because it's...
There. Oh, I forget. You're gonna.
Yeah, I just keep forgetting to play that all the time. I need to remember to do that because it's a nice little ditty. I like it. Anyway, back to the outro as Jesus says. That's it for today's show, ladies and gentlemen. Learned a little bit about this and that. Even got, if you notice, I got us live in the TV behind us. Just a little bit delayed. Had a good show. Wondering what Kamala is up to as anyone's guest here. We'll be following that a lot coming up here, obviously. I'll be taking notes. I'd like to run down to the United Center and record some ditties from down there to play. Maybe become one of those political vloggers that are running around down there with helmets on. So Pedro, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, my brother. I'll see you tomorrow. See you guys. Have a good one.
All right, let's see whose comment are we going to go out with today. Looks like it's Jesus's. Be safe, everyone. See you tomorrow. Be there.